Hi, I'm Dale Bida. Minsan deep, minsan disaster. Dito sa channel na to, we talk about healing, friendships, trauma, self-help books at lahat ng katatotohanan sa buhay. Pwedeng sosyal, pwedeng kanal, iyak tawa, basta totoo. Welcome to my mess and magic. Welcome to my channel. I've been planning to do this video for quite some time now. Ginagawa ko to, itong video na to, not only for the people who's gonna view it, but also for myself. Dahil, one, again, it's a creative outlet, and two, I really like to share my thoughts about things, and I do it all the time with the people I care about, and my friends, and the people I work with. And I wish I have a better platform, a bigger one, to reach out people just like me, no, who's into self-help, who's looking for guidance, because let's admit it, we can't have it legitimately at home sometimes. And bihira tayo come across ng mga pagkakataon na matututo tayo based on experience. And I guess I'm not perfect. For sure, may mga mali ako masasabi over the last couple of minutes. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's me. It's a version of my perspective, which, I don't know, whether you're gonna like it or you don't, I'm still gonna share it anyway, because this is my show, not yours. So, here are the 10 things I learned in my 20s. 20s should be hard, and this is our defining decade. You know, in our 20s, we are not really meant to be perfect, you know. Contrary sa mga nakikita natin sa Instagram, we always see na, oh, at 20s, yung iba nakapagpundar na ng ganito, yung iba may family na, yung iba ganito na, etc., etc. It's not meant to be like that. Generally speaking, if we are expected to live hanggang 70 years old, 20 shouldn't be perfect and at peak agad tayo. Hindi ganon eh. Kasi one of my readings sa mga librong nabasa ko is Defining Decade na book. It talks about how important our 20s are to determine kung ano mangyayari sa atin at our 30s and 40s. Tayo, as a whole, are just series of decisions and habits. So, kung ano tayo ngayon are the things that we did in the past. Di ba gano'n naman? So, kung ano ka nung elementary, madadala mo lahat ng habit na yun when you turn high school, then senior high school, then college. And kung ano ka nung college, kung gaano ka ka-overachiever, usually madadala mo yung pagiging bida-bida mo sa workplace. But it's just a different ball game altogether, different rules, but it's still gonna be you. Hindi ka naman naging ganyan overnight. Hindi ka rin naging the best at what you do or yung mga talents mo overnight, 'di ba? You are a series of the decisions and habits you have been doing over the last couple of years. And having said that, yung 20s mo din ngayon, that's gonna be defining your 30s and 40s. So kung madalas kang mag-Instagram lang, mag-cellphone, mag-doom scrolling, mag-TikTok, you're throwing your life away, don't expect a really good and a better life. Kasi, again, kung ano yung ginagawa mo ngayon will reflect in the near future. So kayo na maghaharap ng future self mo and kayo na magsisingilan, 'di ba? So do your future self a favor. Do something that's worthwhile for you. That will technically vote for the kind of life you want in the near future. So kung kumakain ka ng healthy, that's a vote for a healthier future of you. Kung nag-exercise ka, it's a vote of the kind of person you want to become on your 30s and 40s. Life is a matter of decision, really. For sure, sinasabi nyo na, oh, may sarili-sarili naman timeline. Yes, I believe that people have different timelines. But no, you can't slack now and chill just because you have a different timeline. Because it's really important to understand that 20s really is meant to be your defining decade. It will really define who you are for the next couple of years. On the other side of the coin, lahat ng mga pinagdadaanan mo ngayon, lahat ng pain, lahat ng struggle, it's not a signal for you to give up. It's not a sign for you to surrender na parang, sila successful na, ako hindi pa. Sila, ang dami na napundar, ako hindi pa. Baka nga, itong defining decade ko, sinayang ko na. Hindi rin. That's not a good way of thinking. But rather, that should signal you that there has to be something you should do. And lahat ng failure mo, lahat ng heartache mo are just birth pains ng 20s mo. And nasa sayo kung ano yung matututunan mo dun sa struggle, sa failure. Every experiences we come across can either be wasted or be used in a meaningful way. So lahat man ng pinagdaanan mo, whatever that is, nasa sayo kung magagamitin mo siya sa ikakabuti mo. May matututunan ka ba doon? Or just gonna think na, wala yun. Sila kasi. Or you're just gonna blame external factors. You have to understand na itong 20s, ito yung building era mo. And if you're nearing 30s already, or you're at the latter part of 20s, it's not too late. You just have to apply it again, 'di ba? Yung 30s mo, talagang defining decade ng 40s mo. So, it's really like that. It's just that, ni number 1 ko siya to this list. Kasi ganun siya ka-importante sa akin. I have to remind myself constantly na lahat ng pinagdadaanan ko at my 20s, this is not meant to bog me down. This is not meant to hit me and put me in the floor forever. Hindi eh. For sure, everything will have a meaning in the future. So, whatever that is, make it worthwhile. Ilaban mo, i-build yourself now. So, on your 30s, you're gonna be proud and look back na, kaya ko pala pinagdaanan yon because this is it. Kasi marami akong experiences at my 20s na na-realize ko na, kaya ko pala ito napagdaanan because of that, because of this. Well, I graduated at 19. And, syempre, graduate ako at 19, isa ako sa mga naunang graduate sa high school batch namin. So, I graduated college. Kasi TRISEM yung school ko. And, feeling ko, I'm gonna be here to conquer the world. We were really taught sa school to believe that, no, na you're out there, you're gonna conquer the world, blah, 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 blah. But next thing you'll know is kahit nauna ka pang graduate, iba-iba kayo ng karera eh. Tapos mauungusan ka ng iba. Kasi madalas kong iniisip na, shit, si ganito may ganito na. Ay, nakapunta na siya sa ganito, ako hindi pa rin. Ang dami kong inggit sa katawan ko na nakakalimutan ko how much there are a lot of things I should be thankful about. It's easy to compare yourself to others, but you also have to understand that this is your formative years and yours alone. Sa'yo lang to. Hindi to group work, hindi to competition, but this is your life. This is your life and this is your defining decade. So, keep building yourself. Keep forming. Lesson number 2. While learning is important, unlearning is essential. May tugtog pa na young, dumb, and broke. Marami nagsasabi sa'yo na ang dami mong kailangan matutunan, karami ka pang kakaining bigas. But you forget, we always forget the idea na oo, marami ka pang kailangan matutunan. Totoo yan. Sa buhay, sa trabaho, sa relationship. But, marami ka ring dapat i-unlearn. Kalimutan, burahin, tanggalin. Rarely do we hear that we have to unlearn a lot of things. Say, for instance, yung mga toxic behaviors and habits na natutunan mo sa mga magulang or yung toxic culture that we have as Filipinos, yung mga tutunan natin na utang na loob, you know, yung panunumbat or yung culture na dapat tayo ang retirement ng mga magulang natin or we shouldn't be setting boundaries kasi pamilya mo yan, blood is thicker than water. Guess what? There are a lot of things that we also have to unlearn in order for us to learn better. Alam mo yung kasabihan na kailangan mo mauhaw sa pagkatuto at mauhaw sa kaalaman. It's technically you drinking a lot of things, no? But before you drink a lot of new things and before you set yourself into the learning path, you also have to look back and check ano ba yung mga paulit-ulit mong iniinom para mapawi yung uhaw mo sa pagkatuto na mali pala, na dapat hindi mo pala iniinom, na dapat pala you're supposed to be stopping that behavior or quit drinking that altogether. Say for instance, yung people pleasing. Madalas, kung ikaw ay nasa pamilyang Pilipino at ikaw ay nasa family na may culture na authoritarian ang magulang, talagang diktador, matututo ka mag-people please eh. You're gonna suppress your feelings in order to please these people. So paglabas mo ng bahay, paglabas mo ng school, you're gonna do the same thing. Marami sa atin ang na-raise to not question things and just say yes and agree. Marami sa atin yung hindi na validate at home na ngayon ay dapat kumukuha ng validation sa labas. Kaya we are people pleasing. Nakita ko din na parang part ng culture natin as Filipino na dapat hindi ka nagpapahinga. Dapat yung weekend na pahinga mo, dapat naglilinis ka ng bahay, dapat, di ba, parang nakahiga ka na nakahiga or something. Lagi tayo napapagalitan dahil we're idle. That we are now, as an adult, we are becoming guilty of resting. Nasanay tayo na kapag idle time, kapag free time, dapat may gagawin ka pa ring productive in order for you to earn your worth dito sa mundo. Hindi ganun. Dapat malinaw sa'yo na nandito ka sa mundo. And that's enough. Existing is already enough to validate your worth. You don't have to be productive in order for you to believe na deserve mo mabuhay sa mundo. Yan kasi pinaniniwala natin. Yan yung mga toxic and unlearning things na dapat matutunan natin. Hindi natin kalabaw ang mga anak natin, mga magiging anak natin, para sa retirement years natin. Hindi porket may kamag-anak ka sa abroad, gagatasan mo na. Marami pa tayong dapat i-unlearn. And I hope I prepared a list of things that we have to unlearn. But the whole idea is, yes, we need to learn, but unlearning should also be a priority. Unlearning should also be something that we are busy doing. I guess kasi that's the first step of becoming who you really are. Kasi when you unlearn, ma-differentiate mo, alin dito yung Dale na may toxic Filipino culture, alin dito yung opinion ko sa isip ko, at alin dito yung opinion ng mga taong nagpalaki sa akin. Alin dito yung paniniwalaan ko as a person, as an adult person ngayon. At alin dito yung mga paniniwalang natutunan ko lang sa eskwelahan, natutunan ko lang sa mga taong sinamahan ko over the last couple of years. Alin dito yung totoong ikaw. And magagawa mo lang yun if you balance the learning with the unlearning. So you treat it as important as it is. As long as you're still alive, it's not the end. Lagi kong narinig yung habang may buhay, may pag-asa. We've been hearing that phrase for quite some time now. Pero ano ba talagang ibig sabihin nun? 'Di ba? Na habang buhay, may pag-asa, blah, blah, blah. Kasi for me, mas naging makabuluhan lang siya nung na-hit ko yung rock bottom ko na to the point na ultimo maintaining balance ko, hindi ko na maintaining balance nga eh. Or talagang pagsasahod lang ako, dumadaan lang na ganun. Or mas mataas na yung utang ko kesa sa kinikita ko. Or merong nangyari sa pamilya ko na bagsak ako. Then marirealize ko na talagang may mga moments na may heartbreak at breakdown na mahihirapan ka as a person. And yun din yung mga pagkakataon na nagturo sa akin kung paano mas maging matatag. Na hindi ko ma-attribute na I'm strong now or I'm resilient now if it wasn't for the learning na natutunan ko over the last couple of years sa mga struggle ko. Ako, naniniwala ako na habang humihinga ka pa at buhay, you're still in the game. Kung ito ay laro or kung ito ay sports, 'di ba? Hangga't tumatakbo ka pa sa court or kung if this is a performance, as long as you're still in the stage, you still have an opportunity to change the game, to win or to do something about it. Ako recently ko natutunan na yung buhay mas matamis kapag may mga challenges. So I had an Excel of expenses and debts and income, no? So, meron akong Excel na ganun. Tapos nakikita ko, shit, baka 2027 pa talaga ako maging afloat, 2027 pa ako magiging financially, or ganitong year pa ako magiging okay. So, meron akong ganong thought na parang, at this age, dito pa lang ako pwedeng magpamilya kasi hindi ko kakayanan financially. So, I'm really in my mind, overthinking stuff. But then again, I realized na at least I'm still alive to change the things that I'm struggling with. Kaya pa yan. Habang may buhay, may pag-asa. So, just keep surviving. Hawak ka lang. Kapit ka dyan. So, every time na iniisip mo na, wala na to, pagod na ako, end of story. No. It's not an end of story. This is just a chapter. Abangan mo, baka may plot twist. Feeling ko yun yung mas nakakapagpatamis ng buhay, yung plot twist and yung anticipation na along the chapters, baka may magbago. And in order for you to make that into a reality, you really have to stay here, alive and kicking. 'Di ba? I'm alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Ganon. As long as you're still alive, it's not the end. Learning number 4, relationships are mirror to who you are. So, look, listen, and observe carefully. Natutunan ko na kung gaano katotoo ang tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. Totoo din yun sa relationships, sa mga taong dinidate natin, no? Dapat dagdagan yun, tell me who your friends are or tell me who you are in a relationship and I'll tell you who you are. The people you are in a relationship with holds a mirror to the deeper versions of who you are. And by deeper versions, I mean, ito yung mga attachment style. Paano ka ba na-validate as a person? Natutunan mo lang naman ang love languages when you already dated people. Natutunan mo lang naman na kung paano ba ako dapat mahalin? Paano dapat ako magmahal when you already dated people? Lista mo lang kung ano yung mga bagay na ayaw mo when you already have met and encountered the people you have dated. Nagkaroon ka lang ng non-negotiables when you already dated people that showed you na dapat pala mag-set ako ng boundaries. Mga connections that we have built over time, we have to observe. Kasi what we allow to be in our lives, most of the time, it's who we are. And if yung kasama mo ngayon, in the people you are in a relationship with, or even your friends, or the people you surround yourself with, doesn't reflect who you are or who you want to be. It's about time to rethink and observe and reflect, no? Kung ikaw ba ay nasa right path pa. Share ko lang, meron akong pagkakataon na na-realize ko na how I don't like the kind of person I'm becoming. Kasi I'm a very vocal person in terms of voicing out my opinion or kung ano yung nararamdaman ko against a certain scenario. I'm not the kind of person that keeps it within, but rather, if I observe some things going on, sinasabi ko agad sa mga kaibigan or sa person I'm in a relationship with. And malinaw sa akin na magkaiba yung saying the truth and being tactless. So yun, so marami ko natutunan sa sarili ko na ayoko palang maging ganito kasi nakikita ko how the people around me are being affected. And sila yung magsasabi sa'yo na dapat hindi ka ganyan. And nasa sa'yo, responsibility mo na maging receptive at makinig, no, dun sa sasabihin nila na na-observe nila sa'yo or na-observe mo sa sarili mo when you're around them. It's really important that you observe and you consciously make an effort to change the bad behavior you don't want to retain in your life, or if that makes you a different person versus what you really want. Ang takeaway nito is really to observe what your connections are teaching you about your needs, boundaries, and self-worth. So lesson number 5, other people's win is not your loss. Comparison can quietly kill your joy. Just because someone is ahead doesn't mean you're behind and you're just on different tracks. Ito nga yung sinasabi natin paulit-ulit na iba-iba naman tayo ng timeline. Dapat hindi natin kinukumpara yung sarili natin sa iba. Pero aminin natin, ang hirap hindi ikumpara yung sarili mo if you're chronically online. Na parang nananahimik ka lang sa isang tabi pero makikita mo sa IG story na, may bahay na naman na bago. Di ba na parang no matter how much you have, you can't help but compare yourself to others. Or I speak to the people na in a relationship or opposite, yung mga taong wala sa relationship pero surrounded with friends na in a relationship, na observe nila na lagi nila na nako-compare yung sarili nila na shit, sila may jowa na, ako wala pa rin, ganyan-ganyan. Ang swerte naman nila, ang malas ko naman. It will make you realize na madalas na-hurt tayo no? Yung kahit nagpo-post lang naman sila, ang natin, ang yabang naman po-post na naman ako, nagta-travel na naman, ang yabang-yabang. Tinan mo, may bago na naman silang bahay, papansin. Dumating sa point na naa-annoy na ako every time nakikita ko yung mga kaibigan ko na going to places, being successful, and then I'm here, para I have to be twice as good to get half of what they have. Ganun minsan yung pag-iisip ko, na feeling ko competition lahat. But then again, I realize na, hindi Hindi dapat ganon. Kasi pag nananalo yung mga kaibigan ko, nananalo yung mga tao sa paligid ko, hindi ko naman pagkatalo yun eh. Hindi ko dapat tinitake against them that they're posting their achievement because some people really is really proud of what they have accomplished. And that's it. There's no hidden meaning, walang intensyon na magyabang, walang intent. Meron may mga yayabang din naman. Pero yung madalas na madalas, if this really are your friends, hindi nila intensyon na, magpo-post ako nito para ipakita ko sa mga kaibigan ko kung sinong kinakalaban nila. That's not always the case. So, ganun na ganun ako when I was still, I guess, early 20s. Na parang, ba't sila may ganito? Ako wala pa rin. Bakit sila ang taas na ng mga posisyon? Ako, ang ganito pa rin. But then I realized, and just recently, mas na solidify sa isip ko yung idea na as long as the dice are still rolling, you will get your 6. Until then, you will clap for others and show love. Ganun dapat. Diba? These people are not competition. These people are your friends. These people are your comrades. So pag nagwagi sila, wagi mo yun. This is your win. You should be proud na yung mga kasabay mo dati na uhugin lang. Kasabay mo umuwi, pumasok. Ngayon, ang dami nang narating. Ang dami nang na-achieve. Dapat napaproud ka kasi you are surrounded with people that are winning. And that's in itself is already a win. Na na-witness mo sila at their humble beginnings and na-witness mo sila ngayon achieve what they have dreamed of. And you, on the other hand, you have to wait for your turn and believe that someday, dahil nabubuhay ka pa, darating din yung pagkakataon na yun. Until then, show love to others. Be proud of them. Tell them how proud you are and how much you're rooting for them. Yung timeline mo it's not your deadline. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to others. So yung inggit na naramdaman mo, for sure, hindi mawawala yan. But use that inggit to propel you and to make you dream more. So root for other people but still root for you. Maniwala ka pa rin na dating din yung pagkakataon mo. Number 6 of my learning in my 20s, the 10 things I learned in my 20s is high risk, high return. Do it wisely. So, madalas natin naririnig itong high risk, high return sa school, no? Kung business graduate ka man, or kung nag-i-invest ka man ngayon at your 20s, madalas mo naririnig yan. Or sa mga financial advisors na kakilala natin. Madalas natin naririnig no, high risk, high return, blah, 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 ganun talaga, etc. This also applies to our real life, no? As a 20-something person. Na sa buhay na to, kailangan mo talagang mag-risk. And madalas, high risk, high reward. Low risk, low reward. So, I really believe that fortune favors the bold. Really believe that fortune favors the bold. No, you will never win in life if you keep playing safe. And 20s should not be used to play safe. Dapat itong 20s mo, ito yung pagkakataon mo na dapat nag-trial and error ka. Dapat ngayon, ino-overthink mo, asan ka magaling? Ano yung gusto ko? Ito yung pagkakataon mo to actually risk big. Because when you turn 30s, when you have a family, and you turn 40s or 50s, either may pamilya ka na, may sakit ka na, or may mga things na you can't do because you are age limited. Ngayon yung may room ka to actually risk your career, to start building up your emergency fund, start building up your investment portfolio, start saving up for the future, or start planning your business plans. Ito yung pagkakataon mo na marami ka pang oras na if ever yung risk mo nag-fail, you're still what? 30-something. At least when you look back, you made a big risk and it paid off, or it did not, but still you're here. Then again, you have to take it with a grain of salt and with a caveat, no? Na dapat when you risk, you do it wisely. Big rewards come with big risk, but not all risks are smart. You can be bold and thoughtful at the same time. So, dapat yung risk na ginagawa mo, calculated risk. Na-apply ko to sa sarili ko when I was deciding whether to jump from one place to another in terms of career, no? When I was applying for a job. I know it was a high risk kasi baka wala akong alam dun sa lilipatan ko. baka hindi ako marunong. But then again, alam ko na there's a higher reward waiting for me. Meaning, in the same way na baka matalo ka at baka magsimula ka sa umpisa or baka matanggal ka at di ka ma-regular, baka din naman mag-prosper ka. Or baka din naman maging maayos yung kondisyon mo. Baka naman mag-enjoy ka dun sa ginagawa mo. Yung mga baka naman sa isip will be forever baka naman if you don't risk. Yung mga what ifs na yan, magiging forever what ifs yan if hindi mo simulan na mag-risk para sa career mo or para sa kung ano man ang pinaplano mo. So, what I did was took a research, asked people about that job, and applied. Blind ako na kung ano ba talaga exactly yung gagawin, but I made my research and went to the interview. And I was so honest with the interviewers and yung mga boss na I have zero knowledge about it, but I'm willing to take the risk and learn. It was a calculated risk in my part kasi alam ko na kahit wala akong alam dun sa gagawin, malinaw sa akin dun sa base sa research ko na yung gagawin, kaya ko matutunan. At na-vibe ko na mas maayos yung magiging kawork ko. So what I did was, I risked it. I took a risk. I took a calculated risk and nilaban ko. And thank God I did because that decision really changed my life for the better. Yung risk, it's like jumping in a cliff, no? But in order for you to do that, you have to plan, prepare, tsaka ka palang tatalon. Hindi ka lang basta talon ng talon. Hindi ka lang basta risk ng risk. You have to plan and prepare. High risk, high reward, but do it wisely. Lesson number 7. Do not be afraid to reinvent yourself over and over again. Yan. At your 20s, ito yung perfect opportunity to reinvent yourself. Is this industry good for me? Is this career good for me? Okay ba sa akin to? Magma-masters ba ako? Mag-law school ba ako? So I have tons of attempts over and over again sa further studies. What I realize is yung mga attempt ko na yon that failed isn't actually a failure, but rather I'm proud of myself for bravely deciding to try it and to check, no, kung ako ba talaga yon. Is this a Dale that I want to be? Is this a Dale that I enjoy seeing in the future? So, for me, yung reinvention, it's a truth, no, na dapat i-refuse natin yung idea na ito yung definition ng Dale sa mga tao, so dapat ito yung sundin ko. This is your life. So whatever notion they have about yourself shouldn't stop you from reinventing yourself over and over again. Nobody told you to be the same person from the very beginning until you die. So do not be afraid to reinvent yourself. Ikaw ba yung Dale na makulit? O ikaw yung Dale na serious? Ikaw ba yung Dale na madaldal? Ikaw ba yung Dale na tahimik? Ikaw ba yung Dale na palabasa? Ikaw ba yung Dale na mahilig sa manga? Ikaw ba yung Dale na nerd? Ikaw ba yung Dale na cool? Ikaw ba yung whatever? Experiment as much as you can with how you want to improve. So, if it's an experiment, it's a good way to live actually. When you reinvent yourself and you experiment on the versions of yourself, your life, you're owning it. You're being accountable to the version of yourself. So the moment you met your creators or it's your last day or nasa dulo ka na ng deathbed mo, proud ka sa sarili mo kasi malinaw sa'yo na nag-look back ka, ang dami kong version ng Dale, pero itong version na to na mamamatay ngayon, ito yung version na I'm proud of. Nakilala ko na yung iba-ibang parts ng sarili ko at iba't ibang version ng sarili ko. And malinaw sa akin na wala akong pagsisisihan. Or itong version na to, ito na yon. This is my final form. That's how you improve. But I really believe, no, na that's how you will live your life authentically. Sige, let's talk about a reinvention that I did. For the longest time, I've been so insecure about how I behave. I've been so insecure na alam mo yun, hindi ko alam kung ano talaga yung definition of being a man or being masculine or whatever. So I've been constantly chasing and looking at my classmate nung college. Bakit sila ganun gumalaw? Ako ganito kalamya. Bakit sila bruskong-brusko ako? I'm like this. But then I realized eventually when I was already working that people are happy with the version that I keep on shaming myself. Like, I keep hiding this version of me. This authentic version of me na madaldal. Alam mo yun, nerdy, na ang dami sinasabi, ang daming opinion, that talks about useless facts about the galaxy and dinosaur and machika. Alam mo yun, na palatawa. I keep hiding this version of me because it felt to me that this isn't normal. But forget about normal. So what I did was, instead of chasing a definition that I will never achieve because I'll never be like that, I reinvented myself and embraced this who I am. And this is the Dale that God created. This is the version of me that I will thoroughly enjoy. I will not get tired of, because this is me authentic without a mask, na hindi ko kailangan pulisin yung sarili ko. And if along the way, I will come across a version that I want to be, masaya akong mag-evolve into someone new again. Kasi hindi naman ako bato, hindi naman ako rebulto na forever yun na yung version ko. So, hanggang ngayon, I'm completely experimenting with my habits. Dapat ba gumising ako ng 5 a.m.? Dapat ba mas late ako gumising? Dapat ba mag-workout ako ng morning? Dapat ba kumain ako ng konti? Dapat ba may fasting ako? So, constantly, I've been reinventing that version of myself. Masaya ba ako sa version ng sarili ko na to na constantly makulit? Masaya ba ako sa version ng sarili ko na lagi nang kikriticize ng tao, ng judge? Or mas masaya ako sa version ng sarili ko na chill at pinahayaan yung mga tao to be authentically themselves? The question should always be originating from you. Lagi, masaya ka ba sa version na to? Or should I experiment to be a version of someone else? But the lesson really here is you're allowed to outgrow old versions of yourself, because growth looks like becoming unfamiliar, even to you. So, lagi ko sinasabi sa sarili ko, kapag ako, a year ago, hindi ako nag-cringe sa sarili ko, ibig sabihin wala ako natutunan. Pag ako, hindi ako nag-cringe doon sa previous version ko, ibig sabihin, hindi ako nagbago. 'Di ba? Na parang kung ako pa rin yun, I didn't change at all. And this time around, not changing is scary. Because we're human. We're meant to change constantly, to learn constantly, and to improve continuously. So yun, do not be afraid to reinvent yourself over and over again. That's a comfort that I like thinking of. Kasi ibig sabihin, meron pala tayong unlimited tries. Unlimited yung pagkakataon natin to be better versions of who we are. So that's lesson number 7. Next lesson number 8. Ito medyo mabigat. Mental health is just as important as physical health. When I was contemplating of including this, naisip ko, paano ko aatakihin yung mental health? Paano ko pag-uusapan to ng hindi masyadong mabigat? Tapos na-realize ko, dapat kasi ang atake natin as people, as a society, we treat the mental health as physical health din. Nakakapag-leave ka kapag may migraine ka tsaka LBM sa office. Nakakapag-sick leave ka kapag sobrang sama ng pakiramdam mo dahil barado yung ilong mo at may trangkaso ka. Kasi hindi ka makapag-leave kasi naiiyak ka na. Hindi ka makapag-leave dahil pagkagising mo, ayaw mo na mabuhay. We are raised and we are conditioned to believe na yung mental health isn't as real as physical health. Hoy, kasing totoo yun ng diabetes, kasing totoo yun ng migraine, kasing totoo yun ng mga sakit na nararamdaman natin physically. At if that's the case, kung kasing totoo siya ng physical health and physical disability, dapat ganun din natin ituring yung pag-aalaga natin sa mental health natin. Na kung gaano kakabilis mag-i-consulta at magpa-check up kapag may nararamdaman ka, pupunta ka pa sa clinics sa office nyo at manghihingi ng med-cert. Dapat ganun mo rin ituring na ganun ka rin magpa-check up sa therapist or sa psych dun sa nararamdaman mo. Basagin natin yung stigma na yung mental health ay kulang ka lang sa araw, kulang ka lang sa vitamin, cellphone ka kasi ng cellphone. Basagin natin yung stigma na yung mental health pang may sayad lang. Yung mental health na usapan ay para lang sa mga Gen Z na, oh, kawawa naman sila, hindi sila matibay. They talk about mental health all the time. No, we should be talking about mental health all the time. Because while people are dying with physical disabilities, marami din namamatay sa mental health disabilities. And it doesn't have to be kapag late na, kapag meron ng binawian ng buhay kasi they decided to stop living. Tsaka lang natin pag-uusapan na, kaya nga hindi natin nakita yung signs, blah, blah, blah. The change has to start with ourselves. Yun, sakit ko din yan madalas na what I do is to overwork myself kapag I'm mentally struggling or to keep myself busy when I'm overwhelmed with the feeling. But then again, whenever you're distracting yourself, kapag may mental health struggle ka or may breakdown ka or meron kang pinagdadaanan mentally or psychologically, when your solution is to ignore yourself and distract yourself, para ka nagbukas ng kalan sa bahay nyo. Hindi mo nakikita kung may mangyayari or wala. Feeling mo normal lang, maayos yung bahay nyo. Pero alam mo sa sarili mo na bukas yung kalan eh. At the back of your mind, alam mong bukas yung kalan. At alam mo kung kailan sasabog kapag may trigger na. So, hindi siya sumabog dahil nagsindi ka ng kahit ano or nagkaroon na ng spark. Sumabog siya kasi matagal mo na nakabukas yung kalan. Matagal ka na nagsastruggle. Pero you keep distracting yourself and not sitting with your feelings. So, sakit ko din yan. So, that's what I do. Nagdidistract ako sa sarili ko ng work. Alam mo yun. Hindi ko kinikita yung mga kaibigan ko. Tapos feeling ko, wala lang to. Manonood lang ako ng Netflix, I'll be fine. Hindi yun eh. It's not gonna solve your problem that way. So, natutunan ko to deal with my feelings as it comes. So, importante yung nag-check and you're dealing with your emotions and naming your feelings. So, importante yun na, ano bang nararamdaman ko ngayon? Am I sad? Am I disappointed? So, look for, kung meron akong i-advise sa inyo about this, it's look for wheel of emotions. So, that's how you name your feeling. Then, or do journaling. Yun yung mga immediate things that I do para na nahihimay ko ano ba yung naramdaman ko. Bakit ako ganito ka-overwhelmed? You have to remember that dapat di ka nagigilty na nagpapahinga ka because hindi yun katamaran. That's your body telling you to rest, to repair, no? Yung idle moments mo, that's your body telling you na, Dale, ipahinga mo yan. Kasi baka hindi mo na kaya. Baka mag-breakdown ka na. I strongly advise you to take care of your mind the same way we're taking care of our body. So, lesson number 9 sa 10 things I learned in my 20s is being nice is different than being kind. O, uulitin ko slowly. Being nice is different than being kind. So, if you're the kind of person that's ang branding mo ay, I'm a nice person, I'm a nice girl, ayoko nakikipag-away, I hate drama, I hate conflict, for the sake of keeping peace, you're not really keeping peace eh. What you're doing is to stop the inevitable. Na along the way, yung conflict will happen. It's just a matter of time. And you being nice is putting a mask and doing a disservice to other people. Kung ano talaga yung genuinely nararamdaman mo. So, is it still being nice if you're faking being nice? I'm not saying that nice people are fake. I'm just saying na when you're nice, you have to understand na magkaiba yon sa being kind. Nice ka na parang, ayoko nang away ng tao. Ayoko nang sabihin yung opinion ko. But at the back of your mind, na parang, I hate these people. At the back of your mind, you thoroughly believe that you disagree to this person, but you're nice. So you're just gonna stay silent. You're nice. So you're just not gonna say something until shit hits the brick, until it comes to worse. Tapos magsisisiyan mo na sana pala sinabi. Is that being kind? Is that being kind to you? Is that being kind to others? Simpleng example. Whenever we're saying yes to other people, is that because we're being nice? Sinasabi natin na, sige, pupunta ako. Pero at the back of your mind, busy pala ako. Pala hindi ako kasi nakakaya, baka sabihin madamot ako eh. Or kahit wala ka na mapautang, papautang ka pa rin dahil hindi ka makahindi. Or may nagyaya sa'yo, kahit pagod na pagod ka na, kahit ang sama na ng pakiramdam mo, or kahit you feel like you want to rest. Hindi baka ma-miss out ko, fear of missing out, whatever. Or hindi ako makahindi. That's not being kind at all. That's being unkind nga sa sarili mo. Kasi whenever you're saying yes to others, you're saying no to yourself. Yun. So, malinaw na kapag nice ka at hindi ka kind, ibig sabihin wala kang boundaries and you're just doing that out of people pleasing, 'di ba? So parang para lang you're well liked by other people, you're gonna refuse to tell them honestly what your thoughts are. And eventually, it will lead to burnout and resentment. Dahil lagi kang nagiging nice to other people, you expect them to be nice. But when they become authentic, mapipiss off ka, mabubwisit ka na parang ako nga nice ako dito sa mga to But sila sobrang honest naman nila. Baka humihindi sila sa akin. Because that's called boundaries. That's called being kind to themselves. Iisipin mo na maigi na pag magbait ka sa iba or pagbait-baitan ka or being nice, yun bang ginagawa mong pag-oo? Yung bang ginagawa mong pagtulong sa iba? Yung bang ginagawa mong pananahimik at pagiging bait-baitan? Hindi ba yun kasalbahihan sa sarili mo? You're practically self-abandoning. So when it reached to a point na ikaw na lang mag-isa, sleeping in your bed, staying up at night, marirealize mo na, shit, binigay ko na naman yung sarili ko ng lubos-lubusan. Tapos, nobody's doing that for me. Because you're just being nice and not being kind to yourself and to others then. I think the people around you, especially the people you care about, deserve to know what's really in your mind. Kasi kung mahal ka talaga nila and they care about, they will care about what you think, whether you're disagreeing or not. So, yun. So you have to remember at your 20s, you have to leave the people-pleasing behind. Because being nice is different than being kind. Last but not the least, lesson number 10 is love yourself in a truly meaningful way. What does that mean? Ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Palagi natin naririnig na, you're gonna love yourself before you can love anybody else or something. Ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng loving yourself? Is it a surface level of, cutics, cutics ako, or something, mapamassage ako? That's me loving myself. Probably. Or cooking for myself. That's me loving myself. Probably. Or taking a leave for me, loving myself. Or buying the things that I deserve, healing my inner child. Yes, I agree 100%. But more importantly, I think loving yourself in a truly meaningful way is forgiving versions of yourself from the past. Yon, medyo siguro bago to sa pandinig natin. Kasi madalas sa madalas, whenever we're coming across certain problems, may mga pagkakataon na napapaisip ka, nagsha-shower ka or something, nare-realize mo, tanga-tanga ko. Shit, ang tanga-tanga ko. Sana hindi ko na ginawa to. Sana hindi ko ginawa yun dati. Sana hindi ko ginawa yun. Sana I didn't made that decision before. Madalas nating sisihin yung sarili natin sa mga bagay na pinagdadaanan natin ngayon. Pero you also have to understand the part ng loving yourself, ng self-love, is forgiving that version of yourself that only knew the best that they know at a certain time. Na may mga bagay kang ginawa, probably a mistake, na ginawa mo because that's the best thing that you know given the resources you had. The past self you have, they're just doing their best with the best of their abilities in order for you to survive. And you have to look at yourself and tell yourself, thank you. Thank you to that version of me who made that decision. I forgive him. Mahalaga na magpatawad ka rin sa sarili mo. Mahalaga to love yourself in that truly meaningful way. To forgive the versions of yourself that made decisions. Kasi may mga pagkakataon na yung mga traumatizing events sa buhay natin, hindi natin maiwasan na nasisihin yung sarili natin. Eh. But then again, you have to remember, you were just a kid or you were just a teenager. You were just someone who doesn't know what they know now. And in that case, deserve mo na to have some grace at understanding. Nagawa mo yun or napunta ka sa sitwasyon na yun dahil yun lang yung nalalaman mo. I really believe na doon ka lang meaningfully makaka-move forward kapag ginawa mo yun na you really love yourself. As a person that gives a lot, as a caregiver of everybody, as a breadwinner, madalas akong nagbibigay kahit ako ubos na. Madalas akong running on empty, parang kotse na empty na. Diba? Na parang motor na kailangan na lang itulak, kaya na lang umuusad kasi tinutulak. That's not you loving yourself eh. When you're like that to other people, when you're pouring from an empty cup. A meaningful way to really love yourself is to really put yourself first. That's not selfishness. Kasi alam mo, ang sakit nating breadwinner at sakit nating mga panganay na lalaki, panganay na babae, mga kuya at ate, sakit natin na minsan halos underwear hindi na tayo makabili. Minsan yung mga bagay na kailangan talaga natin, hindi na tayo makabili. Pero pag may nanghingi sa atin, uy kuya, kailangan ng pang ganito, kailangan ng pang Enchanted Kingdom, kailangan ng pang gala. Binibigay natin kahit wala na tayo. Kasi mahal natin yung mga tao sa paligid natin eh. Na kahit pagod na tayo, ginagawa pa rin natin yung best para sa kanila kasi that's what they deserve and we love them. Tapos meron pa tayo mga experiences na nagigilty tayo, pampering ourselves. So for example, nag-travel ka, tapos nagigilty ka na ay ako, pa-travel pa ako, tapos nangungutang pala sa akin yung pinsan ko, hindi ko napautang. I'm a bad person. You have to understand that it's not selfishness eh, choosing yourself. That's you ensuring that you as a person is happy with your life. That you are putting yourself first before you put others. Kasi ayaw mo naman na next thing you'll know, you'll be 50s, inubos mo yung buhay mo, at lahat ng tao galit ka kasi feeling mo nagsakripisyo ka tas ikaw na iwan kang ubos. Ayaw mo na sa dulo ng buhay mo, susumbatan mo sila na binigay mo lahat tapos walang makapagbigay sa'yo nung binigay mong energy. You have to learn to love yourself in a truly meaningful way. Kasi that's the only way you can show other people how to love you. Pag pinakita mo sa sarili mo na ito dapat yung deserve kong pagmamahal, dapat ganito ako pinapamper, dapat that's the only time the world can know paano ba dapat mahalin si Dale. By you loving yourself first. That's you giving an exhibit na this is how you love me, guys. I love myself. So hindi ka para mag-chase ng mga tao to love you. Hindi ka para manumbat or maningil sa mga tao na dapat ganito mo ako mahalin. Hindi kasi ginawa mo sa sarili. You have loved yourself truly in a meaningful way. That alone is enough for you to believe na you're only only putting yourself out there, or you're only dating, or you're only putting yung sarili mo in a relationship because you wanted an additional value. So you in yourself, you're already complete. At hindi mo i-expect kung family yung pag-uusapan, hindi mo i-expect na pag dumating yung panahon, ipe-payback ka ng mga tao. Yung pagmamahal, that's not really love if you expect something in return. So dapat yung pagmamahal na binibigay mo sa iba is coming from an overflow of love from yourself. And because you did that, it would be sufficient enough for you that even if they don't return back the favor or the love, you already know that you're complete and you have loved yourself enough. And if ever the world will abandon you, malinaw sa'yo na you're not truly abandoned because you're with you. You're with the version of you that loves you so much. And that alone is enough para magtuloy-tuloy ka. Loving yourself and being satisfied with the love that you give yourself is enough for you to tell that you have been living a really meaningful life. So that's the 10 things I learned in my 20s. So comment below if there are things that you have learned in your 20s. See you in my next video. Thank you very much.